This conference will now be recorded.
Uh, okay. So actually, I got to know that you already have attended, most of you have attended the demo earlier with someone else. So do you still want me to give it right from scratch, or uh, is it like you want me to discuss about the concepts that we are going to discuss in future? How do you want to take the sessions, please? Anyone?
Hi, my name is Swati. So I haven't attended this before, so this is my first call. So if you can at least give me an idea, so that would be great.
Yeah.
Sure,
E-
sure.
e- Even for me, this is first time.
Okay. Yeah.
So how long is this session for today?
It's for an hour.
Okay. So that includes demo and then the, yeah. I will wait. Let you take care.
Yeah. So yeah, so before we start, yeah, my name is Ram. So I've been into Salesforce industry from past 13 plus years, right? Recently, I've completed around 3 4 months back. I've completed 13 years. Started my career in 2010, and but I started with Salesforce itself, and so I did multiple certifications. I think around 20 within Salesforce itself. So I worked on architecture mostly. And of course, most of the time I went with development and different products of Salesforce like sales, service, Einstein, CPQ, integrations, development, customization, all this. Yeah. And coming to the trainings, so I think it's been around 7 or 8 years, 8 years, I think, if I'm not wrong. From past 8 years, I am training a lot of people, especially giving all these mentorships and all. And I used to go to the corporate trainings as well. And from past 3 4 years, I'm not doing any corporate trainings. And if I'm not wrong, I've trained not less than 2,700 or 800 people by now, just in Salesforce. Yeah. So this is about me. And yeah. So what are we going to discuss about today? So today we are going to discuss about the introduction of Salesforce, right? Before we start the introduction, we'll just see industrial evolution. I think most of you are aware. So we'll discuss about the legacy technologies, and then why cloud computing, and then why Salesforce, and then we'll start comparing the Salesforce with any other legacy platforms, and of course the advantages of Salesforce. I didn't wrote it here because I'm not supposed to, but I will discuss about the disadvantages as well, and of course then your course content and the job opportunities also. When we are speaking about course content, I will discuss about like what are we going to cover, point number one, and how are we going to cover, right? So I have a different pattern that I follow generally, so I'll discuss about that. And then yep, you're open for any questions. If you are expecting anything else, please do let me know. And the last one is I would prefer having the session more interactive, so please don't stop till the end of the session to ask your questions. Any question is a great question, whether it is a basic, simple, or even if it's a tough one. So please don't hesitate to stop me at any point of time. I'm really happy to answer. Okay. Any other expectations apart from this agenda? Anyone? Okay. Can you all hear me?
Yeah. I, I think it's a
Great.
Yes.
great to know.
Yeah.
I'm a Java developer for the
Perfect.
last 10 years. Just I
Great.
wanted to see how how I can change my career into Salesforce. So that is the reason
Sure.
I'm attending this session. So just wanted to
Perfect.
let you
Yeah.
know.
We'll discuss the course, post the course content. I mean, this question I prefer to take it post the course content discussion. Is that okay?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, because by then you'll have a better idea.
Hmm.
Then we can bring it up.
Yeah, sure. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah. Point noted. And anyone else? Anything? Okay. I think this is one of the slides that everyone knows, right? Like where are we now in the industrial evolution? We are in fourth industrial evolution, where in which we started speaking with, the devices started speaking with us, right? So earlier it started with steam and then electricity, then computing, where especially in the third industrial revolution, where we used to feed some information to the systems, right? You used to write some lot of commands, especially Java people also, right? Then the system used to respond. But when it comes to the fourth industrial revolution, where in which a lot of competitions are there with different technology and of course different companies. Not I won't say about industries, right? This is the place where devices started speaking with us. The best example is your Siri, right? Or Alexa. Like you can ask Alexa to play your song, or you can ask it to switch on your lights. And Tesla, you don't need to have a driver to drive the Tesla car, right? So these things goes with our human language controls, right? And of course Salesforce is doing a lot in this, so we will see that about analytics. Yeah, nothing much about this now. So as I got to know that a lot of you people are having too much of experience, right? So can you tell me why do we need this application before we start going through the system? Anyone?
What is the question? Is why do we need Salesforce, you mean?
No, I'm asking why do we need an application, a software application? Can't we survive without a software applications? Of course, these days we cannot.
Yeah, yeah, we cannot. Yeah.
But why do we
S-
need it?
Maybe for better performance or to do the things in a different way using the technology for the faster response.
Kind of yes. Any other answers? Anyone?
we will get that our information quickly.
Great. Yeah. Okay. One thing I would like to remind, as most of you guys are experienced, I'm just 13 years. So I mean that's what my age in IT. So definitely, I'll be having very lesser experience than most of you. So
Uh, is someone speaking or we lost Ram on the call?
okay. Can you hear me now?
Yes, yes.
Not sure. Someone have muted me. Maybe
Oh,
people don't like me to speak. Yeah.
no, no,
But
I
there is
don't
no
think
other
so.
option for today. So I'm the only person who have to speak, right? So any IT application basically it reduces our human efforts, right? I mean, whether it could be doing a transactions in the bank or could be booking some flight tickets, buying a product, anything. So Consider your parents' generation, right? Right, when they were at our age, right? So it's like they used to do all this manually, but now I don't think most of the people are going to airport to buy the flight tickets. Of course, forget about the flight tickets. Even if it is, I mean, as most of you are Indians, so even if it is the first day, first show of any movie, so you can simply book using your Book My Show, right? So these are reducing our efforts. This is one side of a definition when I look at a customer point of view, right? As a customer, I would say, yes, this is reducing my effort. And of course, it's saving a lot of time. Maybe it might charge maybe 1 or 2% extra on the regular price, but I have a lot of time. So that's where, as a customer, I have started using these applications. But when you speak about a manufacturer or a developer or an industry who is building these applications, or an organization, they'll say this application is our bread and butter, right? You are able to book the tickets in Book My Show or get the flight tickets in your Make My Trip, right? But only when I make that application. And when you start using these tools or applications, right, I will be getting some revenue, right? So that's my bread and butter. Of course, I'll be generating a lot of profits also, right? Now, this is one reason, the main reason behind having any IT applications, right? Now, what is this legacy platform? Anything which is old. I'm not specific to a technology like Java or SAP or .NET or C, C++, C Sharp or anything. Anything which is very old, which has been used in the IT industry for a very long time. I'm considering them as a legacy platforms. A very simple example is C, right? So if I want to build an application or maybe an SAP, right? So what I have to do, or forget about this. Have you ever seen? I think most of you have Facebook accounts, right? Have you seen uh, uh, a page called 5 Minute Craft? Anyone? Okay. So in the Facebook, there is a page called 5 Minutes Craft where they will show some problem, right? And looking at that, the person who is there in the video, he'll get a idea, a blink in his mind. Using that, he will prepare a small solution which will be used to eliminate that problem, right? The same thing, right? Like you won't get an idea unless until you see a problem first, or you realize that okay, in future you might be getting a problem by going with the current process. That is where your brain will start thinking about providing a solution, and that is what we call it as an idea, right? Now I have an idea. I want to build an a software application for that. So if you are using any legacy platforms, like let's say C or C Sharp or any of these old technologies, so can I blindly go and build the application? Definitely no, right? For example, when I was kid, my uncles who were there in ITs, they used to say, Ram, we are, I mean, I don't know what is IT by then, but they used to say that, okay, we are working for this project, okay, some ABC project. When I say, okay, after 6 months, when I ask, okay, uncle, what are you doing? They'll say, yeah, the admin team is taking time to set this up. So it's been 6 months, but still they are setting up the servers, all these things, so that I can start building my application. Which means even if you have a great idea, you need time to set this entire infrastructure, right? So you have to bring your own servers, install the softwares that will help you to build the application, define the user access, define the security model, and then you can build the application, right? And for this you have a separate team who will take ages to do this setup, because you are going with your own infrastructure, right? You are not asking anyone to get this set up for you. You're going with your own. So that's where it used to take. So generally it used to take around 12 months to set up the things, and then there are days where people started building the application after a year also. right? Of course, your idea is brilliant. It's very good. That's new thing in the market. No one is aware of it. But you took a long time to set this up because you're going with on-premise application, where in which you are setting up your infrastructure. This is one biggest drawback of any of your legacy technologies, including SAP earlier, not now. SAP now they are also into cloud, right? Then what is the other disadvantage? For example, let's go with very simple or a layman applications. Make my trip, right? So in the make my trip, I can book the flight tickets, right? Or I can book the bus tickets, rooms, everything, right? Consider some ABC person wants to build this app, make my trip application. As no one is aware of this, there is nothing in the market. Now he will set this infrastructure and start building it. But if you see here, they have to set up a hardware. Basically it's a server, right? When you speak about server, two things that comes into the mind all the time is, one is the capacity of the server. Of course, two types of capacities. One is user capacity and the other one is data capacity. So how many users it can handle at a time and how much data it can store at a time. Data, to an extent, it's okay. We can increase it easily by just connecting with some other hard disks and all. But uh, user capacity is something which is very important. What do you mean by user capacity? So at a particular point of time, how many users this server can bear is nothing but the capacity, user capacity, right? Now, let's say this is the first of its kind in the market. So I built the application and people really liked it. So I bought a server. I thought like, okay, in my city there are very less people, anyways, not just 2-3 lakhs of people are there, and out of which I'm just considering only 10%, which is 300. I kept a buffer of 100 more, and I thought like, okay, 100, a server with 400 user capacity is more than enough for me. I started my business. Application is done. Then I've asked my sales team to promote it. Then business started. Eventually, people started liking it because it is saving at least 2-3 hours of man hours a day to get this tickets booked, right? So people started using it and people started liking it. Lot many people wanted to use it. Now, can I simply go back and say that, hey, my capacity is only 400, yeah, please don't come and start using my system? I can't tell this, right? Because 4,000 people are ready to use it now. What should I do? Obviously I have to increase my server capacity. It could be like there could be any multiple purposes, sorry, processes. Like you can replace it with a bigger server, or you can connect some serial servers to increase the capacity. So let's say I did something, increase the capacity to maybe 5,000. Suppose that people started liking it more and started growing. uh, so then also it is okay, I'll keep on including some servers, keep on increasing the capacity. But now, after some time, there is a person called Lakshmi who actually looked at the idea that I had. I mean, she went 2 steps ahead and she thought like, okay, let me also build something and give some offers so that I can extract these customers also. She did the same. Now she has more advanced features in the application that she built. Then what will happen? Obviously all you people will go to that. So my I'll be losing customers. So performance wise nothing will happen because the server can handle maybe 10,000 users by now, but I have only 100 users. How does it matter? So I am not getting the ROI, return of investment, right? And of course I can't even reduce the size now because of the lesser number of people. Because I will definitely have a plan, because it increasing the server capacity is not a small thing. You have to invest crores of rupees. So I thought like, okay, I will ask my developers to build something more innovative so that people will have come back. But by then this maintenance and all will cost me a lot, right? To avoid this nonsense, right? And of course security is one of the biggest concerns. That's where you might have seen lots and lots of movies where you hackers used to hack the defense systems also. In your in around 10 years back, there are movies where hackers used to simply hack your entire servers and all, because those are all on-premise service. There comes your cloud computing. So this is one-stop solution for all those issues, right? So we have two types. One is on-premise and the other one is cloud. So what is cloud? Cloud is like you will have a service provider sitting in ABC area where he will say, okay, Shiva, you want to build an application? Okay, come to me. I will give you the space. I will set you up the environment. You pay me some amount, maybe for a rental, right? And you can start building your own application and start using your users. If you see here on the on-premise application, everything right from networking to application, you are responsible for it. You have to take care of each and every point. But when it comes to cloud, again it has three different services: infrastructure, platform, and software. So in the infrastructure, the best example is Amazon Web Services. This is where you will be getting a black box where it will have the networking, storage capacity, and of course it will help you for the visualization also. But if you want to build your own application, you have to set up your own operating systems. For integration, you have to set up your own middleware, you have to handle your runtime issues, set up your own data structure and application definitions as well, right? So this is again halfway on premise, right? So this also needs a lot of setup. There comes, you have something called platform as a service. What is this? This is the place where the service provider will give you everything apart from the application that you are looking for. This is the first step of your Salesforce. So Salesforce works with a platform called force.com platform, right? So here you have the environment setup. Only thing is you have to go and build your own application and set up your own data structure and start using that, right? So this is one of the basic licenses that you can that Salesforce offers, right, with all the features. Then comes your software as a service, where in which this is the place where you will have the application as a service through internet. Ram, any best example? Your GoToMeeting, the one that you're using now, right? So you didn't install anything, right? You didn't define anything. So someone from Career IT have shared you the meeting link. You clicked on that link, joined this meeting. That's it, right? Or your Facebook. To use your Facebook, you don't have to use anything. Directly go to your website, open your browser, go to Facebook, log in, give your credentials, log in, and start connecting with people. So these are some of the examples of software as a service. Then why are we discussing about this? This is one of the best example. I mean, I would say Salesforce is one of the best fits in this SAS. Why? Because in Salesforce, when we are going with higher licenses like sales or service licenses, so along with the Salesforce platform, right? Salesforce gives you some standard set of applications like sales, service, marketing, communities, etc., etc., right? And these are flavors, okay? And now it says, Ram, these are the applications built on market standards. And then if you want to use them, you use them blindly as is. If not, if you feel that no, this existing processes that Salesforce has given me is okay, but I really want to tweak it for maybe 30-40%. It says that yes, you can. You can tweak the application or you can customize that application in a layman term and start using it. And of course, it says that now Ram says, no, yeah, man, I'm not looking this for sales service and all. Uh, so I want to use this for my product management or maybe performance to capture the performance of my employees in the organization. I need to build a tool. I will build this in Salesforce itself. That is also okay. It says that you can start building it. So that's one of the beauties of Salesforce. Now you might have thought that, okay, what is this market standard? Why this guy is telling this market standards and all? So can someone tell me what is a generic sales process is? Anyone? Okay. So I am fond of watches. Uh, so I thought like, okay, I will start a manufacturing unit of watches. Now this is a new brand. right, in the market. No one knows about it, but I have manufactured 1,000 watches now. So post this, I can't keep them with me, right? I have to sell them off in the market. How do I do it? Is it like I'll keep all these watches on the truck and just go to each and every street and say that, okay, watches, please come and buy and all? No, right? This is a product which cannot be sold in that way. And of course, people won't even trust me also if I go in that, like the way the vegetable sellers are there in India, right? So there should be a process. What is it? First, people should be aware of my product, right? So to make that awareness, to get that awareness, what we will do? Marketing, right? So you will post ads here and there, you will do some trade road shows, webinars, etc., etc., so that people will see, okay, there is something new brand came into market. Does it mean that people will start buying my watch? Maybe, or may not be also, because people will start inquiring about the products. Post inquiry, so I'll capture that inquiry information, which we call it as leads, and then we will discuss with them. Let's say if a person says that, okay, my company needs 100 watches, where we are using a project and all, where we need the systems to be controlled by watch. I'll say I'll provide that with a customized features, but as it is going with 100, I will have to reduce my profits, right? For a normal person who is buying an individual a single watch, if I'm giving 5%, for these folks I have to give at least 15%, right? So that such conversations will be there, and then I will convert him to my customer. That is where he will do the transactions, right? So this is a typical sales process, and this process is by default available in Salesforce. You don't have to build a single line of logic to understand this. But does it mean, Ram, everyone follow the same? Not required, right? For example, if you go with Maruti, right, or any Volkswagen or and all, every time they are launching a new model in the automobile industry, they'll do a lots and lots of advertisements. But have you ever seen a single ad posted by companies like Rolls-Royce? A single ad in your life? They are also in the same industry, right? Why they are not? And in fact, they will manufacture lesser number of cars when you compare with Volkswagen or Maruti, etc., etc. But still, they will never ever post an ad in the market. Why? Because they are well established. They have created their own brand, right? People will run behind them, so they don't have to waste their money in this advertisements. So let's say if Rolls Royce wants to use Salesforce application, definitely they'll say, okay, this is not something that I follow. I have my own process. So can I use it? Yes, you can remove that feature which you actually don't need. And of course, if you want to have a custom feature along with the existing one which is given by Salesforce, you can tweak it as well. So that is where I was saying that either we can use them or tweak them as well. Any questions? Anyone till now? I hope I'm not boring you. Yeah. Then yeah, these are a couple of examples of SAS, PAS, and IAS. Then there comes, now we are into Salesforce, right? So before we come to this customer 360, so it says that Salesforce is a CRM based application. Now, can someone tell me what is CRM?
Customer relations management,
Yeah, what is it?
managing all the oh, okay. Managing a relationship with the customers,
Okay, what is it? Okay, so basically, CRM is just a process. Huh? Most of the people believe that it's an application or it's a project or it's a tool, but ideally, it's just a process which helps us to understand or which helps us to have a healthy relation with my customers so that I can improve my business, right? Because you definitely there is no business in the world or there is no businessman in the world who got settled without having a good relation with the customers. Even our Ambani also, right? He is running a good show in Zio in the telecom industry just because one basic reason is he have given it for free to Indians for a year, right? The Geo sims, and now people are not able to go out of it because they have started using that and they have shared their numbers. The network is good now. Even if he's charging a bit more higher when you compare with any other telecom company, we'll go with him because we had a good relation with him earlier. Now I'm not sure, it's up to the people, right? Now in CRM you have lots and lots of technologies and Salesforce is one of them. So what does it says? Boss, you maintain a healthy relation with your customers so that you improve your business. So instead of just saying this, it supports you, which means, for example, in sales. So whenever an inquiry comes, so how do I behave? When should I interact with him? What kind of information I can provide? What kind of discounts I can give? All these things you can set it up at the back end with the standard features of Salesforce itself, and you can leverage it. When it comes to service, let's say Shiva bought a car and maybe from Volkswagen. It's been 3 months. He thought like, okay, let me give it for a service. So when he comes back when he comes back to me to the garage for providing I mean for asking for a service. Now, if I'm using Salesforce, especially the Service Cloud, this will tell me I can specify some deadline to my field agent who is doing the service. I will say, hey, you have to complete the service maybe in a day or two. If it is not yet done, then what should I do? How do I escalate him? I don't want Shiva to come back and say, Ram, you promised me to provide the service within 2 days, but it's been 4 days. Now, what are you going to do? That kind of conversation I don't want to have. So that's where Salesforce gives you some standard set of rules at the back end, where in which this particular field agent is not able to resolve that ticket or provide the service in a specified time. I can automatically escalate to some XYZ person. And of course, even if Shiva comes back and say, okay, Shiva, I got to know about this. If you see the data, I have already escalated this to other person because the ABC person is on leave, he's not well, or something, any standard reasons, right? And what are the different ways of doing the marketing? For example, you might have seen a lot of ads when you're opening your Facebook, right? uh, and if you click on those Facebook ads or YouTube ads, they'll start asking for your information, right? Maybe your email ID, phone number, and all. Let's say a real estate, which is very standard one, right? At least in India, especially in Bangalore. I'm from Bangalore, by the way. So let's say I thought like, okay, I am buying a property. So when I was I mean looking at my Facebook, I have seen that, okay, what is it, okay, maybe 1 acre, or sorry, 1000 SFT villa plots are available, or 5000 SFT villa plots are available, which very lesser price in center of the city and all. Looking at that, I felt like, okay, I'm interested. I went there and I have given my information. But post that, what will happen? Those folks will keep on calling me, or let's say I have given only my email. So every day, the moment I open my email, I'll see at least 10 mails from these folks, whether I open it or not, right? I have to define a filter in my system so that emails from this XYZ industry I don't want. But from their end, they'll feel like, okay, they are sending emails to Ram every day, but they won't be getting any business out of that. It's waste of time, right? Now in Salesforce, we have a product called Marketing Cloud, where in which that will tell you if I'm sending an email to 100 people, that will in fact tell me how many people have opened that email, how many people have really clicked on the links that are provided in that email. How do I build a journey for that customer in my organization? All these things can be gone through your marketing cloud. Similarly, you have Commerce Cloud, where in which it exactly works like your Amazon or Flipkart. It is not very well known in the market, but Salesforce is improving a lot, and in future, Commerce Cloud will rule the market for sure. And let's say these are not the standard application that I'm looking for. Then Salesforce, you build your own application here. It doesn't matter. I'll give you the entire environment. You start building your own. And after this, you will have lots and lots of data. Now you need to look at the reports, or you need to analyze it, right? That's where we have Einstein Analytics, where it will analyze your entire reports. So this is another product of Salesforce. Then you have Salesforce is not the only tool that most of the organizations will use, right? They will have SAP, they will have AWS, different systems, because Salesforce just came around 25 years, 25, 24 if I'm not wrong. It came into market somewhere around 1999. We'll see in one of the slides in future, right? So, but before that, also IT industry is there. Companies like IBM, Accenture, and all, they are there from quite some long time. So they might be using SAP as their core database. Now, as Salesforce came into the picture, as it has good features, it doesn't mean that I can simply go back to IBM, say that, hey, use Salesforce, but at the same time you stop using SAP. But they have invested hundreds of crores on it, right? Now they'll say, no, 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 we don't want to waste the existing investment that I already have, but I'll use Salesforce if your Salesforce is ready to communicate with other technologies. That is where, if you are in IT from long time, you might have heard about a tool called MuleSoft, which is one of the powerful tool for integrations, which acts as a middleware. And by the way, Salesforce acquired this tool, this organization around 3 years back. Then we have employee experience. So one common problem with most of the organizations is sharing the documentations, right? So, but if you are using Google, it's not a problem, because you will give the Google links, and then the spreadsheets or the Google Sheets, where you can start, multiple people can communicate there, I mean, can update that document at a time. But most of the organizations won't go with Google. So that's where we can go with a product called Quip, right? Where we can attach the documents, and same document can be modified by any number of people, any number of times, even at the same time also. Then Salesforce will have, unlike any other technology, right? Salesforce will have 3 releases a year. So I'm really sorry. So summer, winter, spring. Every time they release, they will share the release notes also. There is a website where we can learn these where we can understand what these documentations are, and what kind of features that they are releasing. All this, that's where we call it as trailer. And now, during COVID, I think 2020, Salesforce acquired Velocity, which is industry specific solutions, right? So Salesforce is already also been there in multiple industries. For example, it's been used by very big or organizations like okay, forget about organizations and all. Let's go with one famous sport which I actually never seen a single race also till date: Formula One, F1 race, right? So Salesforce has been used in F1 race. If uh, then why Ram, where it will use to understand the uh, or to get to capture the feedbacks of the fans, F1 race fans. Sales, they have used Salesforce. It's been used in Citigroup, the financial industry, right? I'm not speaking only about Citibank. If you people are there in US, or the people that are there in US, you might have understood, because in US, Citi has it's there in real estate, it's there in finance, it's there in, of course, banking industry also. So Citigroup is based on Salesforce, because 70% of transactions will happen through Citigroup. And one well-known education industry, Stanford, it's using Salesforce. And British Petroleum, when it comes to oil and gas, it is using Salesforce. So it's there in most of the industries. And now you'll say, okay, Ram, you are simply, for me it looks like you're a salesman. You're speaking about all bigger organizations. What about small? Yes, it is being used in smaller industries also. For example, Redbus, right? It's one of the very small organization. So when I speak about organizations, right, I'm not speaking about the list of customers or the number of customers or the range of customers that they have. Instead, consider the number of people that are working in that organization. So Redbus is a very small organization in India, right? Where it basically acts as your make my trip. But in Redbus, as the name itself suggests, you can book only buses, right? So that is using Salesforce. There is an industry called actually I kept on forgetting this name here. There is one. So I'm from Andhra, by the way. So my native is in Andhra. So we have a city called Vijayawada. There is one small industry which manufactures this dupe sticks. They are using Salesforce. So it's been used in because this is why, because Salesforce has wide variety of range products. So based on your requirement, you can use any of this. And now Salesforce has something called partner community and success community. What are these, Ram? When I say partner, let's say if I'm from Infosys, right? So I'm not using Salesforce. I am building solutions of Salesforce for my customers, right? As I'm not a customer of Salesforce, so as I'm helping Salesforce to grow, they have decided, okay, we will define a community for all the companies, service industries like Infosys, IBM, Accenture, of course, even the startups like Popcorn Apps, Altalk, all these things, and they have given a partnership. So in this, I can log in there, communicate with Salesforce, speak the solutions there, or speak about the impediments or the issues that we are facing, so that Salesforce will resolve those issues, come up with in your future releases, right? And then of course you have success community as well. Like this is for the people like you, like you are working in Salesforce, right? And when you are working, you felt that okay, you have to write some API call out. When you are doing it, you are getting some error, and with your knowledge, or with the knowledge that you have within your organization, you felt that okay, you did everything right, but somehow say you feel like okay, there is an issue in Salesforce or something, you're not able to resolve it. And you can pose these questions in the success community, where other trailblazers or other folks working on sales same technology can also look at your question, and if they are aware of these answers, they can post you back. It is simple as your Stack Overflow. So we have success community where we can speak about Salesforce, and this actually covers entire uh, 360 degrees of your customer view, right? Because sales I have, service I have, we can you build your own custom applications. We have covered the integrations, and of course all the industries. I can speak with Salesforce, or I can speak with other folks working in different companies, right? So this gives me a 360-degree view, and that is where we call it as customer 360. Clear? And then Salesforce is a multi-tenant environment. What do you mean by that? A simple apartment culture, to make it very simple. So if I'm staying in my individual house, so I have to pay everything on my own, right? Let's say if I want a swimming pool, so I have to invest a lot. But if I go to a community, an apartment, if I have a swimming pool, I don't have to spend crores of rupees on it, right? Maybe matter of some few thousands, right? So that reduces the effort of mine, right? But at the same time, as I'm buying a flat, I have to be in my own limitations, right? As I have a flat in this apartment, I can't simply go here and sleep tonight, right? This is my flat, I have to sit here, I have to sleep there. Or as I'm getting power with a common reason, I can't simply share the wiring to one of my friends sitting in my neighbor apartment, right? I have my own limits. Similarly, as we are picking up a space that is there in Salesforce, it has set some governor limits, right? Of course, each and every feature that we are going to discuss in future will have these limitations, and of course, we will discuss about each and every limit also. So the difference between a developer or an admin and a very good developer and an admin is building a solution with or in a way that it is not hitting the governor limits. That is what we are going to see in future. Okay. And of course it has a very good security also. For example, in these social networking websites, this Facebook, Twitter, Zoom, of course even your Gmail also, these days if you are trying to log into a new system, right, it is asking for a verification code which is sent to your mobile. And you know what? It is there in Salesforce from 2007 or I think 2006 or 7. But it came to Gmail somewhere around 3 4 years back, not more than that. Right. So that is how the security is. Of course, like just to log in itself, we have this. Now, how to extract data? That there it has too much of an other securities where you have to give the security token so that you can export the data. It's not that easy. And you can even go back and see post the session. There is no single data breach till date from the in Salesforce. Yeah. And now, if we compare the first slide and this, so there, once you get an idea, you have to set up the infrastructure. Now it's simply I'll go to the Salesforce, get the license, start building the application. Why? Because I don't have to install any software, right? It is web based. I don't have to maintain my servers because it is cloud based, right? And I don't have to think too much about yeah too much about different operations, security and all, because it is already having those. I just have to define my roles and who can see what. That is enough. I don't have to define everything from scratch. There are features where we have to just go and check those check boxes. It'll be sorted, right? So that's why you can concentrate most of your time in building the application rather than sitting and defining your infrastructure. Yeah. So I kept speaking. Not sure if it is really when you're able to really catch it up. Do let me know if you feel like okay, this is not really important for you. Yeah. And okay, I should have. Okay. Anyways, this slide is not required, but yeah, I forgot to remove it. Um, okay. So he is the person, a man behind Salesforce. He's the CEO of Salesforce, Mark Benioff. So he started Salesforce with one keyword which says trust. And this is why you don't see any, I mean, one reason they have given a lot of importance for the trust with the customers. And this is one reason you don't see any data breach. They'll go to any extent to make sure you have your own privacy in the system. Yeah. And how many of you are not using smartphones? Okay. Because this is much more connected to that. Uh, most of you are using one common tool called WhatsApp, right? One common app called WhatsApp in your phones, whether it is Android or iPhone, right? So why you are using WhatsApp? Someone said like I'm a person who is there in Java from past 10 years. So what if he spend 6 more months, he can easily learn mobility. So mobile thing also because it is more connected, and he can build his own tool to communicate with his friends. But why are we not doing it? Why are we not building our own applications for communication? Why are we using WhatsApp as our common communicator? One thing, it's free. Second thing, it is easy to communicate and it is readily available, right? Even if Meta came back and say that, hey, you have to spend $2 a month to use WhatsApp, I think at least 60% of the existing customers of WhatsApp will continue to go with it, right? Why? As I said, it is readily available. And you know what? Ideally, this Play Store, right, of Google came after App Store only. I'm not saying Google copied over there, but they have their own marketplace, and Apple also have their own marketplace. But the idea behind this App Store, which is you build an application if you feel that is really worthy, you upload it in this App Store or Play Store so that people can start using it, belongs to him. Post the session, you can again go back and see that. And by the way, the App Store domain itself is owned by this fellow, and he have given it to for free to Steve Jobs. And he came up with a new word called App Exchange. The same concept, same funda, but here you will see some paid applications also because it is on Salesforce. Right. So someone like Shiva or Radesh who build their own application, looking at the market, they have felt that okay, this is a use case that is really built. You can they can upload their in App Exchange so that people from IBM or Infosys or Accenture or Wipro or any popcorn apps people can start using it. And of course, it depends on the vendor. There are some applications which come for free, and there are some of them which you have to pay as well, right? And these are some of the popular applications that are widely used across the organizations. And these are very old numbers. Don't trust these numbers. Definitely, these are doubled by now. Yeah. And this also means that you don't have to get a job yet. Like if you have a brilliant idea, you can build it and you can upload it in Salesforce. But in between, you have a team called App Exchange team where they will review because again, they'll check all the securities, UIs, everything because again, it is given to their customers, not your customers, right? And this is lol, this is not required. Yep, this is when, as I said, like sales was started in 2019, and yeah, it is also old. I'm not getting the same slides, which exactly shows you the Salesforce journey with the current update. But yeah, it is always up. Don't worry. And yes, this is where we are now in Salesforce. So, by the way, Salesforce almost touched this revenue already. Um, uh, so their target is to grow by $35 billion company by 24, but if I'm not wrong, they have already touched it this 2 months back, right? And if you see here, from the day one they have started their journey, it is always up, there is no downs. And now, Rhyme, why do we need this? I would say this is very important. Why? Because generally, some of you who are into different technologies, I won't name the technologies, you are going to go with Salesforce. We are planning to go with Salesforce because of two reasons. One is the technology that you are working on, either it got saturated, right? Don't take me wrong. This is one reason why generally, even I also switch it to something else, some if not Salesforce, some Rocket Force in future, right? If I'm not getting a job in my technology, too much of competition, and let's say the salary margins are not good, so there are various reasons, right? But when it comes to Salesforce, it says that I am growing. It's not saying that you will also grow. It says that I am growing. And if a technology is growing, how they'll grow? It's a company end of the day, right? The more customers they have, the more number of users they are using, it will grow. So if the customers are growing, then the need of building those applications also will grow, which means the need of developers will also grow up, or admins, or business analysts, right, or sales agents. Everything will grow up. So that's one reason. And trust me, I mean, I'm not saying that you have to go with the same career IT itself to learn the technology, but if you are going to decide that okay, I will learn Salesforce, that's one of the best ideas to switch your technologies, because you can happily survive at least for one more decade if you are into Salesforce. Because Salesforce is not just growing vertically, they are growing horizontally. They are capturing lots and lots of markets. Yeah, this is one. And yep, these are different certification tracks. You can be an administrator or an app builder, or you can be an architect, you can be a CPQ specialist, or Commerce Cloud, or consultants. What are we going to discuss? So I'm going to discuss about admin, advanced admin, PD1 and PD2 in the sessions. Right? I'll give you most of the knowledge that are required for admin and of course the developers as well, not the Commerce Cloud. Yeah. So this is about the certification tracks, and we will see about the course content as well. So before we go with the course content, I'll just have one more slide because I really want to close this PPT. So these are little older numbers. So this is how the strategy is structured, and of course, these are the different roles that you have in your system. And this is, I think, more or less for a fresher person, like I mean, who started their career in Salesforce. Yeah. Or if you want me to give a best example, one of my junior have resigned. I'm from in as I said, I'm working in Bangalore. So one of my junior have resigned who with having around 3.8 years of experience very recently. I think his last date is uh, 3 weeks back. He left my organization, and he was telling me that, sir, uh, he got an offer of 32 lakhs. I don't want to name the company, but yeah, that's what that's how the range of salaries that are there in the market, especially in India. Yeah. Now, discussing about course content, right? So, anyways, you will get the course content from Career IT for sure, right? But I will discuss in a little different way. So, you will have we are going to discuss about admin and development, right? Now, in Salesforce, we have a concept called low code, sorry, no code, low code, and pro code. This definitely you might haven't seen from anyone else, right? This is how I define the system. So we will see what features, what can we do without writing a single line of code, right? So this is where your admin comes in. So when it comes to no code, I would say building app, or I would say application, building objects, relating the objects, or building relations. I'll delete this. Objects, relations. Okay. Relations. I'm very bad in Excel. And then what you have, reports, reporting. All this comes under no code. Then comes to your low code. I would say low code is nothing but, even if you have to write a small pseudo code, that I'll consider it as low code. This is where we will understand about validations, then formula. We'll see how do we build the formulas. What else? Yeah, a lot of other automations like your uh, flows. You might have seen something called process builder, but which is not important because in the coming release, Salesforce is going to uh, close process builders. So you are not going to create any process builder, but I'll just keep it here. And other automations like assignment rules, escalation rules, email to case, email to case, assignment rules, all these things will come in no code only. You don't have to write any code. right? And then you will have pro code, a few more page layouts, pages, security. So in security itself will take at least 2 sessions, huh? So it will take a lot of time. So we have different types. I just to make sure that I'm not uh, writing too much, I just closed it with security, name security. And this also will cover at least 7 or 8 sessions. It just says that okay, one row, but it'll take at least 7 to 8 sessions, because each and everything has its own importance. And we do have approval process also. And of course, in admin, you don't have pro code, or you can consider flows here also, because flows are of multiple types. Some of them are having pro knowledge, some of them needs very less knowledge in the development. So this tells you, like, do you really need to have any prerequisites to understand the admin? If you ask me, I would say no, right? Because by the time you come here to come to this particular concept, you will be understanding most of the other things, so it will be easier for you. So for this to learn admin, the prerequisite is Excel. If you know how this Excel works, what is a file, Excel file, what are the sheets, what do you mean by row, what is a column, that is enough. Okay, there comes development. So no code, definitely, as the name itself says, this is not available in development. How bad I am, right? And then in low code, definitely nothing. When it comes to pro code, this is where you will have Apex and UI. For UI, we have LWC. These are the two things. And of course, okay, then you might say, okay, Ram, that's it, only two concepts. Yes, because Apex will have synchronous Apex and asynchronous Apex, where we'll discuss about features like triggers, badge, and Apex controllers, which you can connect with Lightning Web Components when it and integrations. Asynchronous Apex speaks about batches, future, uh, what else? Queuable, schedulable Apex, right? So this itself will take at least 20 sessions, huh? Both Apex and Lightning Web Components. And in LWC, you speak about how this custom UI is defined, how many components I can create, how can you communicate from one component to other component, can I make a call out or not? All these things we'll discuss in your Apex and LWC. And of course, you will have to write test classes. We'll discuss about release processes, what are the different patterns we have in release processes, and best practices when you're writing your triggers, each and everything. Yeah, this completes your development. And if you want to see the detailed content of the course, it will be available with career writing. I think they will provide you later. Okay, so this is all about your course content. And duration 40 days on an average, plus or minus. It might go up or it might go down, but generally it will take around 40 days for both admin and development, which is admin is 20 days and development is 20 days. So you can consider 2 months, right? 1 month for admin and 1 month for development. And sessions will be there only on weekdays initially. Post that, based on your comfort, if everyone is okay, we will have 1 or 2 sessions in one of the weekends, right? And other things like speaking about the interview processes, certifications, and all. I specifically asked the career IT people not to mention this in the calls or when you're discussing, because these things will be there by default. And it's not that today I will say, okay, I'm asking you interview questions and I won't waste your time for the entire 1 hour just for the sake of interview questions or the certification questions. So during the sessions itself, I will cover it up, which means yesterday I have discussed about asynchronous epics, let's say batch epics. Maybe after a day or two, I will come up with a real time question where you can, I'll just give you a question and of course a tip as well, so that you can go back home and try to resolve it. Yeah, because that is how it happens in your interviews also. They won't say, okay, Rajesh, tell me about what do you mean by a lightning page. Instead, they will give you a scenario and you have to come back and say, this is where I can resolve this issue or this scenario with the lightning pages or approval process. Why? Because approval process does this is the feature, and this is the place where I can fit in the solution. So I will make sure you are up to that mark. Instead of just thinking about the definitions, you'll think about the solutions, right? So this is this will be taken care for sure. And if you ask me how, unlike any other person, I won't speak only about the concepts. Instead, we will discuss about the application and we'll discuss about implementing or building that application using these features. In that way, you can remember the features easily. I don't want you to mug up the concepts, rather than you can easily remember and build your own solutions as well, right? So that's all about your course content. That's it. Any questions? Anyone? If not,
The Apex is the programming language for
okay.
Salesforce.
Sorry. Yeah. To learn development, what do we need? So for Apex, you need object-oriented programming, understanding on object-oriented programming. If not, also fine. Before I start it, I will give you some basic websites where if you know the basic understanding of that language, that is good enough. uh, 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 if you spend around an hour or two, that will be taken care, because Apex I will cover right from scratch. And if you say, okay, Ram, I'm not from an IT background, it'll be really tough for me. Even I'm not from an IT background, I am from an electronics background, and till date I can happily say that I'm not good in Java, but I'm very good in Apex. So I learned only Apex. At least I'm telling you, you understand OOPS concept and then you can do it. But I was forced to work on development by one of my senior managers when I was when I was a junior. So I followed a different strategy. It worked out for me in 3 4 months, and then I become a pro. When it comes to Lightning Web Component, so this is a UI where it goes with the web standards. So you have to know about HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. That too, again, basics, because LWC has its own framework. So I will show you where are we going to connect your HTML, where are we going to connect your CSS, and of course your JavaScript also. Right? Sorry, I really forgot to mention this.
Yeah, got
Any
it.
other
Got it.
questions, anyone?
Yeah,
So,
hi. Yeah, carry on.
yeah. So, suppose in case if I want to go on the developer route, do I need to really know about admin part, or maybe is it a
Very good question.
mandatory?
Okay. Okay. I'll tell you one a point, and now you decide whether you have to go with admin or not. Yeah. So if you see here, so that's where I mentioned these 3 points: low code, no code, and pro code. So how many features you have in no code? More than 10 actually. I just wrote 10, right? So if I'm getting a solution without writing a single logic, do I need to build that same UI using LWC, or do I need to get that using Apex with the code? Definitely not, because code you have to think. Of course, even no code also you have to think, but here you have to spend a lot of time. You have to do a lot of testing because you are building your custom solution there, right? And let's say if Salesforce is releasing some feature and it says that okay, in this feature this particular piece of code may not work, you have to go back and update it because this is something that you have written. But when it comes to the same solution that you built over here, you are going with the standard solutions which is given by Salesforce. Of course, you are customizing it according to your business requirement, but you are going with the standard solutions. So if there is an upgrade, Salesforce will take care. You don't have to bear that headache, right? So this is why most of the and of course it is fast enough, right? And a reliable solution also when it comes with no code.
Yeah.
This means I will consider you as a very good developer if you know when to write code and when to write no code, right? When you'll get to know that okay, I don't have to write a code here, I can resolve with this particular feature when you know these features, right? Or basically development came into picture to avoid the impediments or to overcome the impediments that are there or the drawbacks of admin, which means if you see a problem, first of all you should know whether it can be resolved using an admin or not. To know that, you need to know admin. So admin is a mandatory for a developer, first thing. Second one, this also mean if you notice it properly, if you are a developer, you are even fit for the admin roles also, right? Because you are a pro in admin, that is where you went to development, right? So as a hiring manager, I know that you are a very good person. I mean, you know the development also along with admin, so I will definitely give you more importance, right? Correct.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
You're
that's
right.
why
Yeah.
admin is, I won't say just a prerequisite, it is mandatory before you go with the development. And that is how the course is also structured. So first we'll start with admin, complete it, and then we'll go with the development.
Yeah. What is the role of admin?
Perfect. So admin, if you see here, admin is the person who can build your application, right? So there are
Mhm.
couple of applications which don't need developers at all. So that's why even in Salesforce, I mean, the definition of admin in Salesforce is a little different when you compare with other technologies, because he's the person who can build the application along with the security. He can write the automations service and he can even define some automation rules, securities, everything can be done by an admin. There are a lot you can build a application successfully without writing a single code, where you need only admins, right? He is not the person who will just sit on the org as an org admin and just monitor your user access and all, but he is the one who can build an application also.
So user permissions also give the by admin.
Yes. So that's where
Oh,
we will discuss about the security. So security, it has multiple different securities that are available in Salesforce. So we'll discuss about providing the user security and group security as well.
okay, okay. And what is the any scope for the testing related in this Salesforce?
Of course, yes. Okay.
Actually, I mean,
Yeah.
I'm working on an organization. Just 1 month back, I moved to Salesforce team. So I am, I mean, doing the manual testing for that application.
Okay. Yes.
So,
So
what
when
is,
you
I
were
mean, in
started your
future?
career as a tester in that organization, right? So you
Yeah,
might have faced a lot of issues, right? Every time developers used to come back, no, no, yeah, this is the feature, this is how you have to test, this is where you'll see the record, this is where you'll see the update, right? You
yeah,
might have
yeah.
seen that, right? But if you are aware of admin, everything, right? Whether it is an admin or a tester or a business analyst, you must know the admin, right? Post that, trust me, once you're done with your admin, the consultancies, no, they won't ask. You yourself feel that I still want to learn more. That's where you will jump into development, because because as I said, right, I have trained lot many people. Initially, people said, Ram, I'm not from a coding background. Uh, is that okay if I let's just learn admin? So I don't have any issues, because see, the role is there in the market, right? You can see, if you see here, there is sales with admin role, there is business analyst role, Salesforce business analyst role, there is a tester role as well in Salesforce. But the moment you complete your admin, which you yourself feel that okay, it's not that you don't feel like okay, admin is not sufficient for me, if I won't get a job, but you yourself feel that no, no, I have to learn development also because I'm more interested. That is how it will be.
Okay.
It's not
So
very tough
now,
to learn development.
yeah, then fine. So Apex, I mean, I have some knowledge for the Java and Access Excel basis basics level,
Hmm.
and so is it easy to learn Apex coding?
Yes, it is, because see, Apex is just based on object oriented programming. It is not related to complete Java, right? It just uses a piece of Java, so you don't have to learn entire Java. That's
Yeah,
where
I
it
have
makes a lot of
only
difference.
knowledge of core Java only for that.
That should be more and more than enough. See, two things, like if you are a pro in Java, yes, of course, development is a cakewalk for you. I completely agree. But even if you know the basics, also it should be good. Only thing is you have to spend 10 more minutes a day when you're practicing. That's it. Okay, by the way, coming to practice, right? When during the admin, the only time that I'll ask you pause a session is max 10 minutes. That's it. Whether you see the recording, people will ask about, okay, I need the recording and all. Maybe initially you might need it, because admin is all about switching between the screens. But if you are able to spend 10 to 15 minutes a day, pause a session, that is good enough. When it comes to development, yes, it is your own, it is up to you. If you are all good with the development, it's okay. If not, I suggest you to practice more.
Yeah, okay. Thank you. And one more thing, that admin related, what is that? How much package will get in outside for that? If for experienced person.
It depends on the market. So these are little older rates. So there are people who are getting 20 lakhs also on admin, right? It depends on the
Oh,
organization.
then good amount for that. Yeah. Thank you.
Thanks. Any other questions, anyone? Do I have only two, three people in the okay, we have a lot many. Okay. Okay. Any other? I mean, if you have any other questions like session timings, or when the batch is going to start, any other fee, especially about your commercials and all, you can speak with Career IT folks. Right. Other than that, I'm happy to answer any questions. If you don't have a question, then two things. Either you might have understood things well, or you didn't understood anything. I hope you are not at the second stage, or I might have got bored.
I think this is a good session. So at least we got to know what is Salesforce and how it can be used. And yeah, definitely there is some useful info.
Thanks, Vijay. Anyone? Shwati, Vani, Vindhya, Narasimha, Chanti, Sunil, Venkat, John, Sirisha, Anil. Okay, thanks for your time. Especially, generally, I won't. It'll be ended up in 1 hour, but I think today we spent 1.5 hours, especially on your Sundays. Thanks for joining. Thank you. Thanks, everyone.
Yeah.
Thank you
Thanks,
so
Ram.
much.
Thanks for your
See you
time.
tomorrow, mostly. Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank
thank
you.
you.
Thank you so much,
Thanks
sir.
for a great detail. Thank you.